just never know what's happening around here. It's Friday night in eastern North Carolina. It's real windy, too. It has been a windy, stormy week in these parts. And I was home alone this week, which I just feel the need to discuss because I was sure I was going to love it. And I have really enjoyed it. But I tell you what, I was lonesome. I'm just going to admit it. I hate to admit that. I really thought it would take me 2 years to get lonely. But it was like 5 days and I was lonesome. So my middle son is back now. Russell, he's 15. And I went and got him something to eat. He's happy as a clam, took a shower. I started doing laundry. Boy, I just am glad to be a mama. I tell you what, that is really, so my oldest, my daughter and my oldest, that would be my husband. My daughter and my son, my daughter and my husband are picking up my oldest son tomorrow in Salisbury. So they'll be back tomorrow afternoon, which will be nice. Oh, we just got a new flag. My husband hung that up. And I'll be glad to see them. I was sitting here thinking I need to come up with something good for dinner tomorrow. And anyway, it's, you think you know things and you don't. I think you think, my dad has always said this. So he's always said, if you don't have your health, you don't have anything. And it's really interesting to say that because it's true. If you're a billionaire and you have terminal cancer, you have nothing, right? Or when I was thinking about those people on that submarine this week, like they were literally billionaires. And no amount of money could save them, so you just have to really think about it in a different way. Or you have children and I am so honored to have these kids. Now granted, I sound less fussy about it because I haven't been fighting with people for like a week. Where did you get your bracelet? Do I have on a bracelet? A bracelet. I don't even have on any jewelry. It's just interesting. Is this the same? Oh, Karen's just asking me again where I got my bracelet. I don't know what bracelet you're talking about. Come be a subscriber and you can ask me over there. I can't focus on questions and talk at the same time. You want to see behind me though, because the view is better this way. Hang on. Look. That's my swim platform there. There's the freaking scissors on the dock. This is why I have no scissors or dish soap, because people bring my dish soap out here and put it on that raft so they can float around on it. You don't know what you've got till it's gone. Well, that's the truth. We got these chairs when we got married 20 years ago. My cousins gave them to us as a wedding present. And darn it, things aren't still lasting here pretty good. And then, it's a blessing on the water. It is pretty here tonight. Watergate, Pizzagate. I tell you what, that submarine, that Watergate thing is really sad. And the more you look into it, the sadder you get, because all you see now are all these warning signs. Like, I feel like now I'm an expert on submersibles. I'm like, you can't have a carbon fiber submersible. It has to be titanium. It has to be one continuous piece, or there'll be, weakness. You can't hear me. Hello! Really? Can't nobody hear me? It's too windy. Do lakes get this windy? That must be the ocean. No, it's not. It's the Albemarle Sound, which I normally swim in like every day, and I have not swum this week because it's been, I'm going to go inside. Everybody's so fussy. Oh, it's better up here. How about that? This is better. Oh, but then the wind chimes are down here. Then people are going to be complaining about the wind chimes. This could just go on for years. Okay, I'm going to come out here and see if it's windy. Oh, look, see, it's not too bad. Go in the house. I would say you were addictive to going live. You were going to say that I was addictive. Addicted? I'm not. I'm not addicted. I don't think. I do like it though. I also really like getting paid on advertisements. I don't get paid on live advertisements though because Facebook doesn't trust me. They have to have some robot watch my videos first and then decide if they're going to let me go live. Yeah, I got a new license plate. It says Amos and it says North Carolina Autism Society on it. And my middle son said, he said, why did you get that license plate? And I was like, what? Like, I think it's nice. I wanted it to say wood, but that was taken. I should have gotten tails. I didn't even think about that. Would have been genius, but somebody might have like keyed my car. And he goes, now people are going to think my name is Amos and that I have autism when I get out of the car. And it made me think, if I ever get my teenagers a car, I'm going to so put that license plate on their car. It's great. I tickle myself. I really do. Good evening. I know it's so pretty out, isn't it? But this is a weird amount of wind. I mean, I'm not kidding you. It is blowing a gale here. Blowing a gale. So my husband and daughter are off on a daddy-daughter night tonight, which is pretty cool. They were picking up my oldest son in Salisbury tomorrow. He's been at Boys State camp. And, I'm like almost cold. And so my daughter had said, I'm not going to go with Daddy. I'm going to come home. And I really wanted her to because I didn't want him to have to just, stay up there in a hotel by himself. Turn on some lights. I had to take down the other wind chimes. They were so loud. And so today on the credit card, expenses pop up or whatever. And it was like some adventure park. So they went, zip lining or something, which is fun for them. And this friend of mine, I was telling her, I said, yeah, Thomas and Blair have gone on this, adventure, whatever. And she was like, it's really smart to do that because, she's going to grow and la, la, la. But then she said, and honestly, there'll be a time that she doesn't want to do that. I was like, gosh, that's really true, right? She's 13. He's driving to Salisbury. My husband, well, he's been on a mission trip with my middle two, and it's 2 hours from there to Salisbury instead of me leaving here and driving 8 hours tomorrow to pick him up. They are just doing it because it makes more sense. My husband hates putting miles on a car, so he's was very keen on that. Someone got your credit card and had a fun time with it. Well, they can't get mine because every time anybody spends anything, I get some text message. Seriously. So you know who I talked to today? One of my favorite people. One of the owners of this restaurant. This is a Mosquito. Amos Mosquito. More people have asked me, did you name your child after that restaurant? I'm like, what What am I, a Kardashian? No, I didn't name my son after a restaurant. Amos is named, well, I don't know if I should tell you. So this is in my book. So this week, I worked on my book proposal all week. Do you see it? It's about 75 pages. It's a very, very rough draft. But the story of Amos's name is in there. Makes you want to get the book, doesn't it? So anyway, my friend Sandy calls me, and I see his name on my phone, and I'm like, oh, it's Sandy. That's what I always called him. And he and his wife own Amos Mosquito. And he said, oh, I was with some people, and we were talking about, we're super old friends. Like, I've known him maybe since I was 30 years or something. And my son Thomas has worked at his restaurant the last 2 summers. And I think my son Russell is going to work there later this summer. Thomas worked there as a dishwasher for 1 summer. And then last summer, he was a busboy. And the dishwashing, it's not an easy job. You get paid the most as a dishwasher because you have to wear sweatpants. You go in the morning. And I remember I was like, why are they washing dishes in the morning? It was like, Mom, because they're cooking the dinner in the morning. You know, and I had worked at the Ice House when I was 15 and 16. Well, my job was different. I wore jean shorts. I shouldn't even admit this. I wish there was a picture of me. I wore jean shorts from Benetton, and I had this like leather belt I wore, and I had white roller skates, and I legitimately roller skated up and down the boardwalk. Honor, stop. For $5 an hour and handed out menus. True story. And then there was a total like creeper lech whose name was Mitch, and he had dreadlocks, and he drove. I'm going to tell this stuff. I promise you people are going to be like, I know Mitch. That's my dad. Mitch, this is what my book should be about. Mitch had dreadlocks, and he was the captain for the Camp Seafair and Seagull boat, which was called Joy Boy. I definitely do not have Alzheimer's. I bet you were cute. Oh, I mean, I looked good. I weighed like 105. I mean, I was great. And Mitch left a mixtape in my car. So I had this. I can't believe I'm telling all this stuff. Maybe I am addicted. I had a convertible, BMW convertible. I know, right? That's so embarrassing to say that. It was blue. And I was 16. My 17-year-old doesn't even have a car. And I had a convertible BMW. But there's a long story about why I had that car before you start judging me. I had an older brother. He had just died of cancer the summer before. He picked that car out for my mother. Blah, blah, blah. So anyway, don't judge people. But anyway, I had this convertible. And this Mitch, look, somebody just said, I went on the Joy Boy. Did you know Mitch, Kathy? Mitch left this mixtape in my car. I don't have it anymore. And it was my first introduction. Yeah, little rich white girl with the blue BMW. I know. That's what I was. I mean, that's why I said it was funny. And it introduced me to Violent Femmes. Are you familiar with Violent Femmes? I actually really like the Violent Femmes. Anyway, the Violent Femmes, they was on my mixtape. But why was I telling you that? Oh, my first job. Oh, so my son Thomas was a dishwasher at 15. And he worked and it was really hard as a mother. I was like, God, I hate him having to work this job. Like all the other teenagers are having fun and, going on boats and hanging out at the beach club and doing all this amazing stuff. Yeah, I was definitely not sheltered, Teresa. I spent my summers in a hospital room watching my older brother die. I promise you I was not sheltered. I was beyond not sheltered. And Thomas was going to work, and I was driving him to work, which was super fun. And about 2 weeks into the job, he said, you know, Mom, I don't know why anybody would pick this job. And I called my husband and I was like, well, that was the right thing to do, to have him work this job, right? And he said, you need to take a shower. Kiss my ass. I took a shower this afternoon. I just put on the same dress because it wasn't dirty. I hadn't left the house. And I said to little Thomas, well, you know, nobody picks this job. This is a job you have when you can't do anything else. And he was like, oh. But I had said to my husband before, I had been like, I just don't know if he should have this job. It's just really, you know, it's kind of depressing taking him to do the job and, you know, all this kind of stuff. And my husband said, who I adore, said, I'm not raising assholes. This is why Facebook doesn't let me have live video ad revenue, because I cannot help but cuss. But it's important for the story. Somebody just said I needed to take a shower because I admitted in a post earlier today that I hadn't taken a shower. And people read my words like there's been some new book of the Bible dropped off on their doorstep and God has said, read this book and share it with the world. I mean, I'm not freaking kidding. People are crazy. This is why I have a subscriber page. They just pay $5 so they don't have to listen to all these insanity comments. So anyway, Thomas said that. I'm not raising a-holes. And then he said, and he mentioned a person by name who we both have known for a very long time. And he said, you know, in the words of, you know, Peanuts or Charlie Brown, do you know? And I said, yeah. He said, do you want to raise somebody like him or do you want to raise somebody like me? And I said, like you. He said, exactly. And I thought, you know, I did. I married this incredible person who is super nice and funny and fun and loving and a really hard worker. Like his goal has always been to provide for his family. And it's awesome to see. We've never had we've always been a team, I guess. When we first got married, neither one of us had a job, and we realized that somebody was going to have to quit their school, and it was me because he was in law school and I was doing my PhD. And so I quit and was a nanny full-time and worked at Frank Porter Graham Child Development Institute. And then he was studying for the bar exam. I took a full-time job. And then he started working, and then I quit and stayed home with kids. And now I've gone back to work, you know, in a different kind of way like this, because we've realized kids are really expensive. No, but I mean, I like working too. But what else would I do? I'd probably look good. I would exercise and I would look good if I didn't work. Or I would be like fat as a pig and in that my 1,000-pound life and never leave the house. That's probably more likely because this week I literally have like molded myself into this couch. And, but anyway, I don't know. I was telling you that. But he's a good person. I'm glad that he's not raising a-holes. Keep your day job. This is my day job. Turkey. I have a feeling my husband has taken like a 9-hour shower tonight. There's a kitty. Because they've been up at this camp. My husband's not a camper. You would think he is. He loves hunting and all things outdoors. But the word tent like makes him shiver. True story. Literally makes him shiver. Your view is pretty. It really is pretty. It really is pretty. I'm glad I found you. I think you're awesome. well, you need to come be a subscriber. Somebody today, so I went to Chowan Arts Council, is this great nonprofit in town, and they had it's called Raise the Floor fundraiser, and they were hoping if 100 people gave $100, that would raise $10,000 to pay for the floor. And so of course I went, and then I was there, and I had to ask the young lady. I was like, "Have I paid $100 yet?" She was like, "Yes." I was like, "Oh, I have. Okay, good." She was like, "No, you haven't." I was like, "Crap," because I can't remember anything like this. But anyway, we were there, and I was talking to two women who were like, "We read your blog, and Sarah's a new subscriber, and we, blah, blah, blah." And the one asked me a question. I was like, "You're not a subscriber, are you?" She was like, "Well, no, but what do I get?" I was like, "Well, are you familiar with OnlyFans?" No. I was kidding. I didn't say that. I said, "Well, it's sort of more of like a behind the scenes tour. My videos are less of me like preaching like Joel Osteen and more of me talking with you. And you could ask questions, or if you have questions, I'll answer them, or anyway, it's nice. I'm new and drawn in. Yay. It's my life. It's like everybody else's. It's just for some reason, I think the name of it, The Educated Debutante, it conjures up this image in somebody's head. And it maybe is somebody that's like, "Hello, darling. Everything is wonderful. I love Eastern North Carolina, and I play canasta, and I eat tomato aspic and pimento cheese on wheat thins, and I volunteer, and I'm on the Altar Guild, and I've got to get more silver polish tomorrow." Where I'm like, "Shit. What you talking about, Willis?" I did have somebody one time say to me, "You give debutantes a bad name." And I was like, yes, success. People can relate to you because you're down to earth. But why isn't everybody down to earth? The fact that being down to earth makes me popular, isn't that kind of a worry? My parents are from Ohio, so it's not even like I'm a real debutante. I made it by the skin of my teeth. I mean, I was a debutante. I have the invitation in my office on the bulletin board. So yes, for 17 cents a day, you can become a subscriber, or you could probably feed some nice child in Oklahoma, which would be better. You remind me so much of Kathy Bates. You mean Kathy Bates in Misery, where she hacked up that man's legs? I hope not, but I do love Kathy Bates. Anyway. Hello, Adrian. I'm from South Africa. Hey, from South Africa. Makes us feel normal. Well, I hope so. I think we all have a story to tell. That is chapter 10 right here. I'm going to show you. Look here. Please. What is a debutante? Oh, it's a long story. Chapter 10, telling your story. We all have a story to tell. Telling your story. I promised my subscribers I was going to read something out of here yesterday. So I went and printed it at the best realtor in Edenton. It's Perry and Company. My friend's Mary Scott, Something About Mary. And they printed this off and made me this booklet at their office. This is so nice to have a good friend. My friend Martha Hyde did that for me. So I'm gonna read you something, okay? Hold on, let's see here. The journey is filled with peril that I choose not to avoid but meet head on, a special needs mother going into battle. I know I will emerge victorious, but I have to fight to win this battle. Joy will win, and I will march on, smiling and crying, but never conceding defeat. I will wear my emotions like medals of honor, and if my exterior seems to be suffocating the person you once knew, know that my interior is transforming wonderfully, a portrait of joy unfolding in real time. So there you go. Somebody asked yesterday, they were like, is your book going to be funny? And I was like, no, it's really not funny. I'd like to write a funny book, but I don't know how to write funny. It's more thinking and serious, and it's different. I think your life looks high end. like top shelf vodka. No, it is. I mean, I was raised upper middle class. My husband and I do well. We are, yeah, I could see that when I was little, people thought we were rich. I mean, not like billionaire on the sub-rich, but I've never been hungry and not been able to have food. You know, I've never gone without anything. Today I was telling a friend of mine, or we were talking about it. I was like, you know, it's real easy to like give advice to people and say, especially people that are really struggling, you should be doing this and you should be doing that. I was like, but you know, and she said it too. I just was born into my family. Just like my kids were born into this family where their needs are met. And, you know, they shouldn't be lauded for that. And other people shouldn't be punished for being born into a family that's not like that, you know? Anyway. Sybil Shepherd. Is she the one? No, that wasn't her. I watched Top Gun yesterday. So I've watched a lot of old movies this week because I've been writing, but I like background noise, but I don't want to have to really pay attention. Currently, I'm watching Braveheart, which is my husband's favorite movie. And my son Russell came down and was like, why are you watching Braveheart? It's like, it's kind of good. Longshank. But anyway, carry on. So tomorrow's Saturday morning. Saturday morning is subscriber coffee chat around 8 or 9, depending on when I wake up. When is Amos coming home? Well, I just talked to him a minute ago and we were counting days. I am going to the beach on Sunday, and he is at the beach to take the middle two to church camp. So that'll be good. And then we're either going to stay down at the beach a little bit or come home. So we'll see. We live currently like 2 days ahead. I can't my cousin used to always say that, and I would be like, what does she mean she can't plan? Hello, my name is Adrienne, and I can't plan. The house is so quiet. I know. It's because so many people are fake who do this sort of thing. Oh, well, maybe that's it. Hey, Russell.
Yeah?
People wanted to know how you liked the mission trip.
We're going to have to do it later.
He said we're going to have to do this later. Will you come on a video with me in the morning and talk about it?
Sure.
Okay, subscribers. Russell's going to come on and tell us in the morning. Which camp? No, they're going to Camp Trinity tomorrow. Yes, hi, Clyda.
Tuna?
What?
There's a little bit extra tuna. Do you want it?
No, thank you. Why don't you keep it and eat it tomorrow?
I don't think I want to.
Well, Daddy might...
I don't know how to describe it. It's like weird.
Tuna. Okay, well, you don't have to keep it.
I can tell when tuna's fresh and when it ain't.
He can't...
I ain't that fresh.
He can't tell when tuna's fresh and when it ain't. Include your quote. Oh, well, Anita, I'm going to need you to write it down for me because now I can't remember what I said. Okay, subscribers, we'll see you in the morning. Look, I said 9, and Beth Hamilton just said it'll be about noon. Now that's offensive, but it's possible. Carry on.